My heart stopped when I saw her handwriting. Sarah's note said I'd never escape her. Whispers filled my Portland home again, her voice circling me. Emily swore it was nothing, but then I saw a shadow, and my phone buzzed with her message. My name's James, and I live in Portland, Oregon, in a quiet little house with my wife, Emily. I've got schizophrenia, diagnosed back in my 20s. For years, I've managed it with meds and therapy. Life was stable, predictable, until Emily's sister, Sarah, moved in with us. She showed up 3 months ago, bags in hand, after a messy breakup with her boyfriend. At first, I didn't mind. Family helps family, right? But something about Sarah felt off from the start. She'd linger in the kitchen, muttering to herself, her voice too low to catch. I'd walk by and she'd stop, flashing this nervous smile. It wasn't just me being paranoid. My gut screamed something was wrong. I'd been symptom-free for years. No voices, no hallucinations. But Sarah's presence stirred up an unease I couldn't shake. I'd catch her staring at me, then quickly look away, like she was sizing me up. Emily didn't see it. She'd laugh it off, saying Sarah was just adjusting. I tried to let it go, but the muttering got worse. One night, I heard her whispering in the hallway, words I couldn't make out. My heart raced. Was this my illness creeping back, or was she doing this on purpose? I didn't want to worry Emily. She's got enough on her plate with work, but I couldn't ignore it. Sarah's arrival flipped my world upside down, and I started to wonder if she was trying to mess with my head. I had no proof, not yet, but I knew I had to keep my eyes open. Whatever Sarah was up to, I wasn't going to let it break me. It started small, like a faint hum in the back of my mind. I'd be in the living room, flipping through a book, when I'd hear it, a soft whisper, just beyond clear words. At first, I brushed it off. Portland's rainy nights make the house creak, right? But it kept happening, always when Sarah was nearby. I'd catch her in the kitchen, chopping vegetables, her lips moving silently. My stomach twisted. Was she talking to herself, or was this aimed at me? I've dealt with schizophrenia long enough to know the signs. Hallucinations can sneak up, distort reality, but this felt different. The whispers only came when Sarah was in the house, never when I was alone or out with Emily. One evening, I was fixing a leaky faucet in the bathroom. Sarah passed by the open door, and there it was, a low, deliberate murmur. My wrench slipped, clanging against the pipe. I called out, "What did you say?" She froze, eyes wide, then laughed it off. "Nothing, James. You okay?" Her voice was too sweet, too practiced. That night I couldn't sleep. The whispers echoed in my head, gnawing at my sanity. Was my illness back, or was Sarah messing with me? I stared at the ceiling, Emily's soft breathing beside me. I wanted to tell her, but how? She adored her sister. I pictured her face, worried, not for Sarah's actions, but for my mind unraveling. Still, I couldn't stay quiet. Over breakfast, I blurted it out. I keep hearing Sarah whisper when she's around. It's freaking me out." Her fork paused midair. She sighed, setting it down. "James, Sarah wouldn't do that. Maybe it's, your condition?" Her words stung. I wanted her to believe me, not my diagnosis. The whispers grew bolder. In the hallway, at dinner, even through the walls. My heart pounded every time Sarah was near. I started doubting myself, checking my pill bottles, counting doses. Had I missed one? But deep down, I knew. This wasn't in my head. Sarah was doing this, and I had to figure out why before it broke me. The whispers were eating me alive. I'd lie awake in our Portland bedroom, Emily sleeping soundly beside me, while Sarah's murmurs haunted my thoughts. One night, it got too much. I locked myself in the bathroom, sat on the cold tile floor, and cried. Silent tears, the kind you choke on. I kept whispering to myself, "It's just her, James. You're not crazy." But doubt clawed at me. What if it was my schizophrenia, twisting reality again? I hadn't had a breakdown in years, but now, I felt like I was teetering on the edge. I started watching Sarah like a hawk. Every move, every glance. She'd sit on the couch, scrolling her phone, then mutter under her breath, too soft to catch. Once, I saw her pause in the hallway, lips moving, eyes darting like she was listening to something. My pulse raced. I jotted it down in a notebook. Times, places, what she did. It wasn't enough to prove anything, but it kept me grounded. Emily noticed me pulling away. "James, you're so quiet lately," she said over dinner, her brow furrowed. I wanted to scream about Sarah, but her soft eyes stopped me. She'd never believe me over her sister. Weeks later, another breakdown hit. I was in the garage, sorting tools, when the whispers came through the wall, clearer this time, taunting. I dropped a wrench, my hands shaking. I stumbled to the couch, head in my hands, fighting the urge to scream. That's when I told Emily everything. "It's Sarah," I said, voice cracking. "She's doing this to mess with me." Emily's face fell, not with anger at Sarah, but with pity for me. "James, please. Sarah's not like that. Maybe we should call Dr. Larson." Her words cut deep. She thought I was the problem. I went to Dr. Larson, my psychiatrist, the next day. He tweaked my meds, upping the dose. "Auditory hallucinations can flare under stress," he said, scribbling notes. I nodded, but inside, I burned. The new pills dulled my edges, but the whispers didn't stop. Sarah's voice, low and deliberate, followed me. Kitchen, hallway, even the backyard. Emily's frustration grew. She'd snap when I mentioned Sarah, saying I was obsessed. I was losing her, losing myself, but I couldn't let it go. Sarah was breaking me, and I had to prove it before I fell apart completely. I couldn't take it anymore. The whispers had me on edge, like a wire stretched to snap. One evening, I was in our Portland kitchen, rinsing dishes, when I heard it. Sarah's voice, low low and sharp, from the hallway, clearer than ever, like she wanted me to hear. My hands froze in the soapy water. Enough was enough. I dried them fast, heart pounding, and stormed toward her. She was leaning against the wall, phone in hand, lips barely moving. "What are you saying?" I shouted, my voice echoing off the tiles. Sarah's head jerked up, eyes wide. "James, what?" I didn't say anything. Her tone was too innocent, too rehearsed. I stepped closer, fists clenched. "Stop lying. I hear you whispering, trying to mess with my head. Why are you doing this?" Her face crumpled, tears welling up. She shook her head, backing away. "You're scaring me," she whimpered, then bolted out the front door, slamming it behind her. My chest tightened. I'd lost it, and now she'd spin this to Emily. I paced the living room, panic rising. Emily hated interruptions at work. Her nursing shifts were brutal. Sarah would call her, I knew it, painting me as unhinged. When Emily's car pulled into the driveway hours later, my stomach sank. She walked in, face tired but tense, Sarah trailing behind her, eyes red. "James, what happened?" Emily asked, setting her bag down. I tried to explain. Sarah's whispers, how they followed me, how I wasn't crazy. Emily cut me off, voice soft but firm. "James, Sarah's not doing this. She's worried about you. I'm worried about you." Sarah stood there, nodding, tears fresh. I wanted to scream. It was all an act, and Emily was buying it. "You don't see it," I said, voice shaking. "She's playing us." Emily's eyes narrowed, frustration breaking through. "Enough, James. This has to stop." The room felt smaller, like the walls were closing in. I couldn't fight them both, not now. I swallowed my anger, nodding, but inside I was raging. Sarah wasn't getting away with this. I'd stay quiet, watch closer, and find a way to prove she was behind it all before I lost everything. After that blow-up, I knew I had to be smarter. Shouting at Sarah got me nowhere. Emily thought I was spiraling. If I was going to prove Sarah was messing with my head, I needed hard evidence. So, I turned to my phone. In our quiet Portland home, I became a ghost, watching Sarah's every move. I'd linger in doorways, pretending to read, my phone tucked in my pocket, recording. She'd mutter while folding laundry, her voice too low to catch clearly. I'd replay the clips at night, earbuds in, straining to hear words. Nothing solid yet, but I wasn't giving up. I got careful, strategic. I'd leave my phone on the counter, camera angled just right, when Sarah was in the kitchen. One clip caught her pausing mid-chop, lips moving, eyes darting like she was checking if I was near. My heart raced watching it. This wasn't my schizophrenia. This was real. But Emily wouldn't believe me without something undeniable. I kept at it, my notebook filling with timestamps. Sarah whispering in the hallway at 7:32 p.m., muttering by the stairs at noon. I hid my obsession from Emily. She'd catch me staring at Sarah and sigh, "James, please." I'd nod, but my resolve hardened. Then, one night, I got lucky. I was in the bathroom, splashing water on my face, trying to drown out the whispers that had followed me all day. My phone sat on the counter, recording by accident. I'd forgotten to stop it after filming Sarah earlier. The whispers started again, louder, closer, like Sarah was right outside the door. My pulse hammered. I sat frozen, listening, but the words stayed just out of reach. When I left the bathroom, the whispers stopped, abrupt as a slammed door. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and played the recording. There it was, a soft creak, the bathroom door. Then Sarah's voice, clear and deliberate, whispering, not random muttering, but something targeted, meant for me. I played it again, volume maxed, my breath catching. This was it, proof she was trying to break me. My hands trembled with a mix of triumph and dread. I had her now, but showing Emily would change everything. I wasn't just fighting Sarah anymore. I was fighting for my sanity, my marriage, my life. I clutched the phone, knowing I had to keep going, to gather more, to make sure Emily would see the truth. I couldn't wait any longer. The recordings burned a hole in my pocket, proof that Sarah was sabotaging me. That night, in our Portland living room, I sat Emily down. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone. "Em, you need to see this," I said, voice low. Her eyes narrowed, wary, but she nodded. I played the clips, Sarah muttering in the kitchen, pausing mid-sentence, and the damning bathroom recording, her whispers sharp and deliberate. Emily's face paled, her breath catching. This can't be right," she whispered, but doubt flickered in her eyes. For the first time, she didn't dismiss me. We agreed to confront Sarah. The next evening after dinner, we called her to the living room. Sarah sat on the couch, arms crossed, her usual nervous smile gone. Emily started gently, "Sarah, we've noticed some things. We're worried." I slid my phone across the coffee table, hitting play. The recordings filled the room, her voice, her pauses, her whispers. Sarah's eyes widened, her hands fidgeting. She tried to laugh it off. "That's nothing, just me thinking out loud." But her voice cracked, and Emily wasn't buying it. "Explain it, Sarah," Emily said, her tone sharp. Sarah's composure shattered. She buried her face in her hands, shoulders shaking. "Okay, fine," she choked out. "I was whispering. I did it on purpose." My heart pounded. I'd been right. Emily leaned forward, voice trembling. "Why? Why would you do this to James?" Sarah's head snapped up, tears streaming. "Because I was scared," she blurted. "His schizophrenia. I read about it. I thought he could snap, hurt us. I wanted him to get help, to leave, so I'd feel safe." Her words hit like a punch. She wasn't just cruel. She was terrified, and I was her target. Emily's face twisted with shock and betrayal. "You thought tormenting him was the answer?" she asked, voice rising. Sarah sobbed. "I didn't know what else to do." I sat there, numb. Part of me wanted to scream, but another part saw her fear, her twisted logic. Emily's eyes met mine, full of pain and resolve. We both knew this couldn't go on. Sarah's confession changed everything. Her fear didn't excuse the damage. The trust was gone, and our home felt like a battlefield. We had to decide what came next, and fast. Emily's voice trembled with fury. Sarah's confession left our Portland home feeling like a war zone. "You heard him, Sarah. You heard us," Emily said, her eyes wet. Sarah's apologies came fast, desperate, but they couldn't undo the damage. That night, Emily and I talked for hours. We agreed. Sarah had to go. Her fear didn't justify the pain she caused. Trust was shattered, and our home wasn't safe with her in it. The next morning, we called Sarah to the living room. She looked haggard, sensing what was coming. Emily took a deep breath. "Sarah, you can't stay here. Your actions, they've broken too much." Sarah's face twisted, anger flaring. "You're kicking me out? I have nowhere to go," she shouted, voice sharp. She turned to me, eyes blazing. "You're dangerous, James. You'll see." Her words stung, but I stood firm. Emily stayed calm, though I saw her hands shake. "This is for our family," she said. Sarah stormed off, packing her bags in a fury, slamming doors. When she left, she didn't look back. Emily tried to hug her, but Sarah pushed past, muttering something under her breath. The door slammed, and silence fell. Our house felt empty, but the suffocating tension was gone. I felt relief, but also guilt. Sarah was family, and now she was cut off. Emily and I sat on the couch, her head on my shoulder. "We'll be okay," she whispered. I nodded, but her sister's final glare haunted me. We focused on rebuilding, therapy, talks, trust. Emily cut contact with Sarah, and I worked with Dr. Larson to stay grounded. The whispers were gone, but the scars lingered. I just hope we made the right call.